In this video, I'm gonna give you 3 proven tips to grow any student in any grade level. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Pursuit of Excellence family. So no matter what you do in the school building, no matter what grade you teach or what grade level you support or whatever you do in the building, I know that you care about student growth. See, you wouldn't be the great teacher that you are if you didn't care about student growth. And I know that you're a great teacher because you're watching this video. If you weren't a great teacher, you wouldn't be watching videos like this to help support your students. So first of all, just thank you. Thank you for being great, and thank you for doing what's best for your students. So second of all, let's talk about student growth. Now, in my experience, oftentimes I dealt with students that were about, on average, 1.5 years behind the grade level they were supposed to be on. So some students obviously were 3-4 years behind, but we also did have some students that were 2-3 years above, but on average they're about 1.5 years below. And every year I've always been tasked with researching and trying to implement different strategies on how to grow students. Over the last couple of years, my students have shown astronomical growth. And that's actually what led to them offering me the position that I have now as a district math coordinator. So one of my responsibilities is to coach teachers onto how to grow the students within their classrooms all throughout the district. And the only reason why I bring all that up is because I just want to let you know that the strategies that I am about to share with you are proven, they are guaranteed, they will work because I've seen it, I've done it, I've implemented it. I've used many different strategies throughout the year. But I'm gonna give you my top 3. These strategies will work and will help you grow students regardless of the subject area, regardless of the grade level. If you use these 3 things, I guarantee that you'll see student growth. All right, let's talk about it. So strategy number 3 is to let them know that you care. They have to know that this is not just a job for you, this is your passion. And it's okay to be transparent with them and to let them know. So you can have conversations with your students that go like, all right, I've looked at the data and I've seen where we are. And for most of us, we're not where we need to be. Let's just be honest. A lot of us are behind. And I don't know if that's to blame with the pandemic, with us falling behind, but I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to make growth. And I care about you way too much to just allow you to remain behind. No, we're gonna grow. We will. So I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy, but I'm saying I'm gonna show up every day and I'm gonna give all that I can to help you grow. All right, so a conversation, something like that, something similar. Your vibe is not gonna be my vibe. Be you, that's ultimately what you wanna be in the classroom. But they need to know that you care about them and that you care about their growth. They need to know that you're invested in them and not just invested in a paycheck. And oftentimes they won't just assume that. They need to be explicitly told, and that's one of the areas in which I see that a lot of teachers could grow. Tell your students how much you care. It's okay to show some emotion. Tell your students that you love them. Tell your students that you want to see them grow. It's all right. And I understand that it gets a little bit tricky when we're talking about virtual versus in-person. Like virtual, that is a big stress for a lot of us. I get it. I understand. If you want to hear more about the virtual stress, I'll link that video right here. But I understand that virtual instruction is a stress for a lot of us. But remember, difficult and impossible are not synonyms. It is difficult. It is definitely difficult, but it's not impossible and you can do it. So if you are truly passionate about student growth, that passion, that emotion will emit even over the screen, even through the camera. They can feel that emotion and they can sit back and say, wow, I really have a teacher that cares about me. All right, so tip number 3, let them know that you care. They have to know that you care about their growth. All right, strategy number 2 is to set smarter goals. Listen, you've heard me say this before. Students need to know what it is they want because that's gonna drive them to figure out how to get there. Remember, desire drives determination. You first have to give them the desire. What is it that students want to achieve? If they create in their mind a goal that they have for themselves, then that's gonna push them to want to achieve it. Now, if you haven't heard about smarter goals, they are amazing. Honestly, I love smarter goals. I have so many different videos talking about it. Smarter goals is an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, evaluated, and rewarded. And if the students go through this process and they set goals that are smarter, set goals that are clear, set goals that they can follow through, and set goals that you as the teacher check on regularly, I guarantee you that that's going to give them some extra motivation to work. And with that extra motivation that they're working, that's going to lead to student growth. So if you haven't had an opportunity to look at that resource, I'll link it in the description below. But regardless, students need to set smarter goals, set clear goals for themselves, and drive themselves to achieving it. If you really want to see student growth, honestly, come on. If you really want to see student growth, they have to set a goal that they want to achieve. have to do it. So that's my second strategy. All right, so strategy number one to grow any student, any subject, any grade level, here it is: develop a growth mindset within them. And I know we heard growth mindset before, but listen, develop a growth mindset within them. That's more than just saying, oh, do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? We're developing the mindset within them that says, I can learn anything. And developing something is different than just telling them something. Right? It's different than just spending the first couple of days of school and getting to know you and doing a couple of growth mindset activities. It's different than that. We're talking about developing a mindset within somebody. We have to teach them to have a resilient mindset, just like we teach them punctuation, just like we teach them how to manipulate the quadratic formula. We have to teach them how to believe in themselves and to have a growth mindset. Listen, it's great that you believe in them and you need to tell them that you believe in them. That's necessary, but it's not enough. It's great that the students set smarter goals. They need to set smarter goals. That's necessary, but it's not enough. They also need to believe that they're the person that can achieve. Come on now. So we literally have to take time to teach students what it means to have a resilient mindset, to have a growth mindset, and to believe in themselves. And I know that this may seem a little counterintuitive because we're talking about student growth. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we're coming in with students that are a year and a half, 2, 3, 4 years behind. And I know that it's really, really difficult for us when we think about taking time away from content instruction and focusing on something that doesn't have anything to do with our content. But let me challenge your thinking for just a moment, all right? Imagine if your pacing guide says, tomorrow we need to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. And imagine you have a 8th grader in your classroom that for the last 12, 13, 14 years have been thinking that I'm not good at math. I'm not good enough to do this. They've already determined in their brain that it does not matter what you plan on teaching tomorrow. I'm just not gonna get it. I'm not gonna pay attention. But if you pause the pacing guide for just a moment and rather you teach a lesson that teaches students that giving up before you even begin is a guaranteed way to lose, you may not be giving them the content that they need according to your state standard, but you're giving them the skills that they need to become the person that is capable of doing whatever it is that you assign to them. So then the following day, maybe now we have a mindset that says, you know what, I'm gonna give this Pythagorean theorem thing a try. Perhaps. And I'm gonna be honest with you. They may come to class the next day and you may begin teaching about the Pythagorean theorem and they may check out. I'm talking about after you taught the lesson on how to be resilient, right? I'm talking about after you taught the lesson about not giving up and having a growth mindset, they may check out. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if at the start of the next unit, you do another lesson that's developing their mindset, and the next unit, and maybe the next week, and maybe a couple days after that, and maybe we're spending more and more time teaching lessons that are developing the student's mindset. Listen, eventually, if you tell a caterpillar long enough that one day you'll fly, eventually he's gonna sprout some wings and start flapping, right? So it may not be immediate, but you have to remember, again, 12, 13, 14 years of being told or believing I can't do it. It's not going to be undone with one growth mindset lesson, which is why my favorite step, I'm telling you, it's proven, I've done it, is to throughout the year consistently teach students how to develop their mindset, because now you're building them into the person that is capable of achieving these goals that they set for themselves. And it is just as important as teaching content, teaching them to have the skills that they need in order to achieve the content that you set before them. And while teaching the content is important, it is just as important to develop the grit within students to endure the struggle on the content that they need to master. All right? So that's why that is my number one strategy. Develop the mindset within students so that they can become the person that they need to be to achieve those goals. So those are the 3 strategies. So those are my top 3 strategies to growing any student, any subject area, any grade level, across the board. You use these with fidelity, you will see student growth. And remember, if you need help with teaching students how to teach smarter goals, I have a resource in the description below. Go ahead and click on it and check it out. It will definitely teach students how to set smarter goals and how to follow through. So if you really want to see your students reach their maximum potential this year, go ahead and give it a look, see what you think about it. And remember, tell them that you care, set smarter goals, develop their mindset, like, subscribe, share. I'll see you next time.